This is the mistake a lot of people make. They think they are moving, but they are in actual fact stagnant, and I'll prove it to you. Being busy doesn't equal being productive. I've heard that said many times. Waiting on one spot, like waiting for God to act, doesn't also mean that you're productive either. Yes, I'm breaking the sad news to you. I've made this video for one singular reason today, to balance things, and you know that me, I like balancing truths, so that you guys are not going to tilt towards one extreme and then forget the other part. You cannot, I have said it for the opt-in time, you cannot tell me that you're working by faith and you are idle. It's a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Faith without work is dead. A lot of the time we want to pin these things on God and lie that God said I should wait. Easy on the lie. Be taking it easy. There are times you are required to actually move, like get moving. Ask God for direction and get moving. Not that you now start saying, I've prayed though, so I'm just waiting for God to direct me. Direct you to do what? Some of you will pray, you will say, I'm waiting for God to direct me to do what? And you need to read to pass your examinations. You need God to still tell you that you should read. It's different if you are saying, God, show me where I'm supposed to read. Not that you're not even acting at all in any, you're not even moving. There's no sign of movement in your life. And you're just there. That, I must hear a loud voice saying, my daughter, come and do this. Oh, let me calm down. And I'm not also talking about people that genuinely are waiting for God. Like, there's nothing you can do about that situation. You just have to wait. So let's say God has told you that you're going to be, what example can I use now? There are some particular things that is going to tell you that will not require one major action from you. All you need to do is just to keep praying. Okay, let's say it says, I'm going to touch this person's heart. This person is going to change. This person is going to give her life to Christ. Blah, 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 blah. What do you want to do? Right? You just keep praying for the person. Then in that place of prayer, or from that place of prayers, it can now inspire you and tell you, okay, this is what you should say to that person. Or if it says don't do anything, just keep praying, then you stay in the place of prayer. That in itself is not being idle. That's also an action. The point is, you cannot stay idle when you're walking by faith. It doesn't happen. It doesn't. So we have a lot of Christians who are stagnant today because they claim to have been walking with God when in actual fact they should have moved. Likewise, we have a lot of people moving without waiting on God for instructions. You are also stagnant. You might think you are moving, but you are actually not, because where do you know that you are moving to without God's instruction? The one who created you for a purpose, to live for Him, has to be the one directing you. If there are two paths here, right? If there are two paths here, and this is A, this is B, and you know that B is going to lead you in a direction that, you know that A is your destination, this is where you're supposed to go to, and there's another path B. If you follow path B, do you call that movement? That's not movement. Or should we say that's movement, but that's not direction, right? It will still, you're still stagnant, because this is where you need to go to arrive at your destination. So if you follow path B, it's still useless. And that's another mistake people make. You run ahead of God. You want to do your own thing. And you think you can be busy but not productive. In fact, you can bear fruits. You can show in the world sense of things. You can be famous. You can have money. You can make wealth. You can have a lot of friends. You can have all of those things, and in God's eyes, none of those things are approved by Him, because He didn't choose His own way. So you're actually still stagnant. So can you see the two different extremes? But both stay stagnant. Why? They didn't wait on God, or they didn't move with God. So if you don't wait on Him, you're going to be pursuing things that are contrary to His will and still not fulfill purpose. If you are too relaxed and believe only in prayer without the application of His word, you will not make any impact. Neither will you fulfill purpose. So both extremes are not going to fulfill purpose eventually. The thing that I have observed, even in my life in the past, is that a lot of Christians are scared to step into deep waters. That's primarily the reason people hold back a lot. If you check well, the reason you have not started that business that God told you to start is because you are scared deep inside. One of my businesses right now that God led me to start 2 years ago or so, by the time I saw the requirements and the demands of the business, even me, I was like, what happened? I ran away. Let me not lie, I ran away. I said, so this thing is as big as this. I can't do this. This thing is bigger than me. I don't even know what to do. I don't know what step to take next. Blah, blah, blah. That's how I ran away. So I know that God can be telling you to do something. And God has called us to a place. We are impactful people. The world is waiting earnestly for the manifestations of His sons and daughters. So it's not possible for you to just sit down and be fruitless. We must bear fruits by his leading. So don't run ahead of him. That's the mistake the other extreme makes. So I know that it's very easy to get used to what we can see and what we can control than to trust God for bigger things. I know that. Running with God and facing the bigger things would expose you to criticisms, pressure from people, feedbacks that you have not built strength to yet, being judged because you're in the limelight, a lot of opinions flying around, being afraid to make mistakes, a lot of those things. And that's why we just shrink back and say, you know what, I'm okay in this comfortable space I find myself. But deep within, you know that you are called to be more. Whenever you say that I'm just waiting on God, you know that deep down that's a lie. It's a lie. If you are honest with yourself, we can't hide in the shadows because we are afraid of the light. For God's sake, we are lights. We are carriers of Him, so we are lights. And He has said we are the light of the world. So we can't run from ourselves and stay in the shadows. That's not what He has called us to. So here is the balance. Posture right. Position yourself right before God. Position yourself to actually listen to overcome challenges. Position yourself to wait on Him for His instructions, knowing that you don't own your life. You are here. You are sent. You are here on His account, not your own account. Then when you position yourself right, when you posture right, listen and do what He says. That's the only way we can make impact, true impact, and fulfill purpose the way He has ordained it to be. So don't move ahead of God, but don't use God to lie either. As Christians, we rest. We work from that place of rest. We have been delivered from the curse of the law that says we must labor and toil hard before we find food to eat. So to avoid being laid back, position yourself right and be willing to do the work when He prompts you to do the work. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 7 verse 9, it says, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. So there's a path and a place for working, but just know that you're working from a place of rest, from a place of instructions. So you can't be stressed when you're working or when you are fulfilling purpose. It shouldn't be. That's out of the normal order. The same Bible that says in Ecclesiastes that you should whatever your hands find to do, do it all your might. In that same Bible, Psalms 127:2 says, it is in vain that one wakes up in the morning and toils all day and then gets home late at night just to find food to eat. Can you see how the Bible is very balanced? So the two extremes are covered there. The difference in both verses is focus. One is focusing on stress and labor, and so they are tired. So it's in vain that you do that. But yet it's also saying the same Bible is admonishing us to work, whatever our hands find to do, whatever we hear to do, we should do it diligently and with all our heart and mind. I am Tiwa Show, and I'm all about purposeful living and helping you live a fulfilling life through scriptural strategies for growth. Now that you have found my channel, you don't need to be stuck. Just binge watch all my videos and get good value, get great value for your time. All right, hit the subscribe button so you can stay tuned and access my other videos easily. If this video helped you in any way, please drop a comment below. Ciao ciao.